Releasing this photo, the president in the Situation Room, looks like on the 4th of July, meeting with advisors, wanting the country to say that, the president is involved in this. But a lot of wondering if the administration was too distant in all of this and letting this unfold and wasn't there pressuring the government to do something.
Right. Michelle Dunn, a former State Department official who has advised the president of the Obama White House on Egypt, says this: "We have managed now to alienate both sides in Egypt." So a lot of people are saying this quiet diplomacy that President Obama has had has really upset both sides. One side thinking that you didn't realize that President Morsi was governing in an authoritarian manner that was going to leave us with an economy that was, in even worse shape than it had been when he took that position. And then the other side, the Islamists, think that Washington is actually backing this coup by not having done anything about it.
And we remember when President Obama began the administration, went to Cairo and gave a big speech about how relations between the U.S. and the Muslim world were going to be much more improved, and you're not seeing that right now. A lot of these protests have turned against the president, and the president hasn't made great bets in the Middle East. You remember, as a candidate, he was against the surge, was successful. He's had very icy relations with Netanyahu. In the Iranian situation, when the students came up and protested Ahmadinejad, he didn't do enough there. He's now, I think, financing and arming the rebels in Syria, which are al-Qaeda affiliated. So I'm not really sure how his Middle East policy is really working out.
And then in Egypt, remember, under Mubarak, we heard from Hillary Clinton at the time, he's an ally. We need to step back. The United States shouldn't be involved in this, of course. And then you saw the toppling of that government, and the United States was late to that game. Ambassador John Bolton, formerly of the Bush administration, says America has played a weak hand during the entire Arab Spring. Listen.
I would think the advice from the State Department would have been to do just that, to cozy up to the Muslim Brotherhood. In any event, that's what the president did. That's why the demonstrators in the streets thought that he and our ambassador in Cairo, Ann Patterson, were really trying to defend the Brotherhood's administration under Mohamed Morsi. I think this has been a reflection of the administration's aimlessness and lack of understanding of the Arab Spring from the get-go 2.5 years ago, and in particular its lack of understanding of the situation in Egypt. The U.S. has huge interest here, preserving the Camp David peace accord with Israel, keeping the Suez Canal open, and yet we've played a weak and indecisive hand here during the entire period of the Arab Spring.
So keep it here. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, meanwhile, Secretary of State John Kerry has been snapped. Pictures of him have been all over Twitter of him being in Nantucket, not his yacht, rather than being in Washington in the middle of this as well.
Yeah, the optics
not a good look.